Okay. Well, good morning and welcome to Brekkie with the Guy Who Sews. It is 8 o'clock on March 23rd, 2024. It's great to see each and every one of you. And I am very excited to have my very good friend Becca return from the Sew Becca channel. We've had her on several times before. And I find this is a good way for me to catch up with Becca because we're both super, super busy. And sometimes this is the only way I get to actually sit there and talk to somebody for an hour. So thank you so much for agreeing to join me. I was not actually scheduled to have a live this morning. We were going to take the boys up to Washington to see all the pretty cherry blossoms and all that sort of thing there, but the weather's nasty and that sort of thing there. So we'll try again at a later date. So for anyone that doesn't know Becca, you're missing out. I'm pretty sure everyone knows Becca, but just in case someone hasn't, they've just kind of wandered on in and have not discovered her goodness on her channel. Would you like to say hi and just introduce yourself a little bit more about your channel?
Sure. I have a YouTube channel. My name is Becca. That's my introduction.
Okay, she has a small YouTube channel.
I mean, it is small compared to where I want to be. So that's my
Yeah.
defense, Sean. That's my defense. My name is Becca. I have a YouTube channel where my goal is to create content that either inspires you, educates you, or entertains you, or all of the above. Some or all of the above. And I focus mostly on quilting and sharing my quilting journey with you. I like to dabble occasionally with writing some patterns, but I do have a 9 to 5. So that doesn't happen as frequently as I would like because the 9 to 5 and the family has to come first, and all things YouTube and quilting do have to come second. So that's kind of my spiel. I like to create content, and when available, I like to write patterns if I have time.
I know, and writing patterns is not as easy as you might think. Like, you get this idea in your head because I'm dabbling in that too. I'm actually in the process of writing my first block pattern, and oh my goodness, like if you can follow schematic design, I can send the pattern out to you today. Like that, the schematic's done. Well, I might have lost that file. It's on a piece of paper somewhere. Um, but to actually write it out in a sort of format that most people would want to read, especially if you're not used to stitch and flip, because that's what my patterns are going to be. If you want FPP patterns, I can introduce you to a bunch of my friends that will help you out with that. Don't look at me. Well, maybe in 5 years, like I'll never say never, but at this
That's right.
point in
Never
time,
say
I
never.
have, yeah, because 2 years ago, if you said, okay, Sean's going to do a live every Saturday morning, I would have said that you're crazy. You need to get yourself checked into a facility really, really soon. So never say it never. So, all right. So what are we doing today? I'll say good morning to everyone or good evening because Jan's here from Western Australia. But what are we going to work on today? Becca, did you decide on something?
I'm still waking up. I've got my coffee in front of me, and so I'm taking the squares that I spent an hour cutting last night on my live stream because I was like, oh, I'm gonna be like Tiffany and I'm gonna have a quilt created in one live stream, and then I sadly failed. So if you want to see me fail in an attempt to be ingenious, ingenuity, whatever the word is, still waking up. If you want to see me fail at something, go watch my live stream from last night. But I'm taking starch to all these squares that I cut because Sean and I were talking about this before the live started. I have really gotten to the point in my quilty life that I don't like working with fabric if it is not starched, period. And so I cut this fabric without starching it, and I didn't like how flimsy it felt. It was a little finicky to work with because I'm so used to working with starched fabric. And I told Sean that, and he's like, what did you say, Sean?
I said I've been doing quilting for over 10 years and I have never starched. And we've talked about this on my channel in the past. And, you know, Becca's answer to me was, you do you, which I totally agree with. I tell everybody the same thing. I did it was like question of the day on one of my podcasts, I don't know, like 6 months ago. And it
Mm.
seems like there's a fairly even split. Some people start really, really all the time. And see, I can't word either because I've only had one and a half cups of coffee. And some, do it all the time, and some never do, and some do it occasionally. I have starch here, and I always remember, hey, I should try the starching thing one day after I cut the fabric. And then at that point, it's like there's no point. So, yeah, you do you. If you like to starch and you feel like it helps you out, have at it. if you don't want to, there's no shame in that. Like you do you. There is no such thing as the quilting starch police. And if they are, tell them to go away. But there you go. So you're working
Fuck
on that.
authority. Tell the quilt police to leave. We don't like authority here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the only time I really come across the quilt police is at the quilt shows when I enter a quilt, and I've actually paid money for them to be the police. So in that case, yeah, they can do whatever they want, Joe. I've got no problem. Just hand me a ribbon at the end of it, if you would, please. Um, even as one of those participant ribbons, like the little kids get when they play soccer. All right, so
Listen,
what am
I
I
don't
working on?
I don't care about first place, second place. I just want a participant trophy.
Yes, there you go. If I ever hosted a quilt show, like a real quilt, because we got to do one on my guild, like a virtual one. But if I actually had my own quilt show, I would actually hand out participant ribbons to everyone because just being brave enough to put yourself out there and enter something is a big thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all about participant. Normally, I'm like, no, you don't need a participant ribbon. First, second, third, highly commit. But yeah, in a quilt show, I think we should have um, a participant ribbon. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd be really curious to hear what your thoughts are. Okay, so let's see. What am I working on? Well, every time I've had Becca on the last few times, I've been working on the panda quilt, and I need to get this thing pieced. And so I thought today would be the perfect opportunity to do this. Plus, I only had to spend like 20 minutes cutting out fabric, so that was even better. So I've got all my tops, not my tops, my what are these things called? Blocks.
Yes, blocks.
Yeah,
Quilt
blocks
block,
done.
Sean. Quilt
I've
block.
got the blocks done. I've cut out my sashing fabric, my border fabric. So hopefully I, I'm not going to say I'm going to get it done during my live because I'm not. I get distracted easily.
Yeah.
But we'll make some progress on it. How about that? Okay, so let's see. We've got a bunch of people here watching, and that is awesome. Let's just see who is here. Russ agrees that the participant ribbon would be lovely. Um, so there we go. I think anyone who makes and finishes a ribbon deserves a ribbon. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so we need to start talking to these quilt shows and saying, okay, look, raise the entry price by $5 or something, and just give everyone a participant ribbon. So
Wait,
there you
so I
go.
have a funny story about that, Sean. A
Okay.
year or so ago, I entered a couple of quilts into my guild's quilt show, and I was so excited because I'm a member of two guilds in the area. And spoiler alert, I may have joined just so that I can enter quilts into the quilt show because I don't have time to do all the guild things. I would love to, I just don't have time. So I joined both of the guilds here, and when the guild that has the show in the spring had their show, I put both of my quilts. I put two quilts in. I was so excited because the way the other guild did it, there was a viewer's choice ribbon that was awarded. And so I was expecting a viewer's choice type of event to happen, but they decided to not do that. They did give everybody that scraps. They did decide to give everybody a little label to sew into the back of the quilt that says it hung at that guild show. But I was so
Okay.
disappointed that there wasn't even the chance of having a ribbon. But I volunteered at the quilt show, and they gave all of the volunteers a little button that said Cabin Branch Quilters 2023 on it. And I'm looking at it. It had a yellow ribbon that said volunteer going down it, and you had to wear that ribbon while you were on duty. It was easier to have the ribbon than it was to make aprons for everybody or something. So
Okay.
we had to wear the ribbons. And at the end of the quilt show, it was attached to a button that said 2023. So they were never going to use it again. So I thought, I really want a ribbon. So I asked the guild if I could take the volunteer ribbon home. They said yes. After they thought about it for a minute, and I firmly affixed it to the quilt that was hanging at the show so I could have a ribbon.
I think
It's
that's
not a
neat.
ribbon ring, but technically I have a ribbon.
Hey, whatever works for you. I think that's a great idea. Sometimes you just need to um, improvise and MacGyver it. Use the tools that you have available to you. So I think that's a great idea.
Did I
All
hear?
right.
Did you say that you're going to have a virtual quilt show? Oh, for your guild.
Yes. Yeah, for
Okay.
the guild. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. So I decided that I think we've had it for about a year now. I'm like you, Becca, where I work 9 to 5, 5 days a week. I have two exchange student boys here who are very active in sports and goodness knows what else. So like I've really truly to appreciated the word mom taxi this year. Um, I admire all the moms and the dads and the uncles and aunties and grandmas and grandpas and whoever else drives these kids around because it's a lot. I'm very fortunate. We live very close to the public high school, so a lot of the times the kids have just been able to just walk over to the high school. But Lorenzo and Simon, who are our two exchange students, for anyone that's new, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great if you are here for the first time. Can just wander over to school. Like if they want to go to a football game or they want to do something, it's just like, tell us where you're going, tell us when you be home, have fun, like, but yeah, this year they've gone to like tennis lessons off site, and then Lorenzo goes to a private school where my wife works. So yeah, it's been a lot more running around. So anyway, where was I going with this?
Guild show.
Guild show. Okay, so there's two guilds in my area, and they're both about 45 minutes away. So it really doesn't conduce, it's not really conducive for me. And then the only one that has a weekend meeting is about the same time as my live in the morning. So I'm like, okay, do I want to go to a guild meeting or do I want to have my live? And I like hanging out with you guys. So here I am. Stand by that decision 100%. So I figured, well, if there's not a guild around me, why not just start my own? I have a channel, I have a reach out to a certain amount of people, and we'll see if, we can get some interest. And we have about, I'd say 20, 25 active members that pop in our monthly meetings, and we just kind of meet once a month. It's very informal. We come in, we do a show and tell, and then, we're now kind of at the point where, I think it'd be fun to do a virtual guild quilt show where people can just make a quilt. We'll send some photos in. We'll have someone judge it, and it'll just be like a low key way for you to have the experience of a quilt show without it being overly stressful. I think that's what I'm trying to go for. So in the early planning stage, we'll probably have the show in like July or August. So it's not like you have to have the quilt made already. You can kind of sit down and figure it out. We're going to have a bunch of different options like doll quilts, wall hangings, bigger quilts, FPP, EPP, table runners. So that way, because what I've encouraged everybody in the guild to do is just enter something. Like it doesn't matter what it is, just enter something. Like I'd like to see everybody do it. It is a free guild. I don't want your money. I don't want to deal with money when it comes to a guild, and I don't want money to be a financial barrier in that sort of way there as well. So I think I answered all the questions. If you have any questions about it, feel free to message me or email me. I'll be more than happy to help you out. And
And
then,
just
we meet.
for anybody out there that might be curious about your guild or how they would join up, this is on Discord, correct?
Correct. I put the information on Discord. Now, I do have a handful of people that can't get on Discord or are not comfortable or whatever it is like that. So I do like email the link that because we meet on Zoom the second Sunday of each month. So if you can't get on Discord or something, don't let that discourage you. Just shoot me a message. I'll either get you to invite the Discord so you can do it that way, or I'll just send you the link each month. I mean, I don't want to do it for 50 people each month, but if I have to do it for a handful, that is not an issue at all. All right, so let's see who is here because we've got a bunch of people. And I have neglected you all, and I apologize for that already. Let's see. It looks like my friend Jeanette was here from Riddle, Oregon. She said it's raining over there, but doesn't it rain there all the time? It's raining here. I think it's raining up your way too, right? Yeah.
It is, yeah. It kind of reminds me of kindergarten because it's overcast. Sorry, that's a different story for another time. Finish reading your chat. I'll pause.
Oh, no, you're fine. Beverly's here. I'm going to butcher her last name, so I'm not even going to try. Polly Joyty is here with the front row seat. I still have to get her. I told her last week I was going to get her name embroidered on the front row seat. I'm still waiting on the funds for that to happen. Mona did what is here. Good morning. If you haven't seen Mona's channel, please go check her out. She has a lot of fun stuff as well. We'll throw her link in. Let's see. Judy Herbert is here. She says her dogs woke her up. Apparently, the dogs wanted to make sure she didn't miss out because, let's remember the last time we had Becca on, someone was late.
Yeah, it was not me.
It wasn't you. It was not Ian. But in that conversation was me. I woke up at 8:06 for an 8 o'clock live. I felt horrible about that. Hey, we can joke about it now. So that's fine.
We
Okay,
can.
let's.
In the moment, it wasn't funny for you, I'm sure, but now it's funny. It's
Yeah, we
funny.
got to. Yeah, it's the one and only time I've been late. Okay, Judy Herbert is here with us. Andrea, good morning. Let's see. I know I'm going to miss people, and if I do, I apologize in advance. It is not personal. It's just I don't know how you do it with your chat by yourself. At least I can cheat and ask you a question, let you talk, and I can kind of go scan the chat. Laurie Colgan, good morning. It's good to see you as well. So it's raining out in her part of Virginia, out in Forest, I believe. Let's see, Pat Strawhouse, good morning. It's good to see you. Lynn Shepherd, Nadine Logan, bonjour. She's over from the southern part of France, and I'm trying to learn French very, very slowly. I can read it a lot better than I can speak it. So if you want to converse with me in French, good luck. Write to me. I will try my best, and then I'll use Google Translate to do the rest for me. Hey, but at least I'm trying, right? So
That's
Teresa West is here with us as well. Elizabeth Helvey, Chloe Morgan, good morning. And let's see, Beverly, we've already said. Nadine, Chloe, Jan, good evening. Carrie Livingood, good morning. Pam, good evening to you as well. It's late where she is. She's over in the Brisbane area in Australia. So it's what, 10:16 p.m., I think, if I remember correctly. Mona says, hi, Sir Becca. At first, I thought that was a big jug. That was the best press I think you had, the big purple jug.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some people do wander around with those big sort of jugs, but usually they're like big, beefy muscle guys at the gym, right?
Yeah, they're usually walking around going, do you even lift, bro? No, we don't
Hey,
lift, bro.
to each their own, right? Let's see. Good morning, Fallon. It's good to see you. And if you have not seen Fallon's channel, you are missing out as well. I love Fallon's channel, and I think she's having her member live at 10 o'clock this morning.
Yep.
So if you're part of her membership, go hang out with her. And then if you're part of Becca's membership program, she has her all day Zoom today and tomorrow as well. So you have lots of quilty goodness to go and hang out with. Um, let's see. Oh, good morning, Leanna, Pastry Queen's Farm Adventures. It's good to see you as well. She had her live from Puerto Rico this morning. I was watching that for a little bit before I got logged on for this. Good morning to Charlotte. And I just want to say a special thank you to each of my members. You'll see them in green, and I really appreciate each and every one of them. And I appreciate everybody. Like everyone that shows up to me is wonderful. It's always good to see you as well. Okay, House of Stitches. Good morning, Amber's friend here. Yes, I remember seeing you. I was Amber Marriott. She is so majestic on YouTube, and she's one of the other ambassadors for Cotton Cuts. I'll get it right in a minute. And she'll be joining me here in a couple of weeks as well. And I like hanging out with her on her lives whenever I get a chance as well. Marjorie Hall, Joanne, Mary, Daryl, good morning from Middletown, Maryland. Sinfa Maria Field, Stitch and Tie coming up. We've already said that. I think I've caught everybody. I'm just going to keep going because otherwise I'm going to be here scrolling through the chat all morning and I'm not going to be able to do anything. Okay, so Andrea says here that she never used to starch until she started watching you, Becca. Now I do. I would never go back. I even bought an acorn pen because of Becca. I'm so sold. So, yeah, and that's kind of what you were talking to me about earlier. Is like, it's kind of like if you go down that route, you may never turn around and go back. So,
Right, that's right.
word of warning.
Word of warning. Hey, Sean, when you're done with the chat, let's do a little giveaway. I will host 10 30-day 10 30-day passes
Okay.
to your membership program here on your channel. So let me know when
Okay.
you're ready for me to kick that off.
Let's go ahead and do it.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
All right. It
Okay.
is going. So YouTube Universe will pick those 10 people that will get that membership randomly.
Yep, and it's at random. And it looks like Charlotte has also joined. Thank you so much. So for anyone that doesn't know what the membership is, um, it's just a monthly recurring payment that you send via YouTube. It's $1.99 a month. And it just helps the channel out. I do not expect it. I do not require it. It's just, people have reached out in the past to say, hey, how can I help you financially? And that's just a way for you to do it. So I never want finance to be a barrier for anybody. So, but yeah, if it's something that you're interested in, you are more than welcome, and it would be appreciated. And you get your name in green, and I also do some early releases on my videos on occasion, and we may do some other stuff in the future. I don't want to like start offering too much and not be able to keep up with it, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So, okay, so Jan's asking, how do you enter the giveaway? You don't. What happened when you gift a membership on a YouTube channel? the person will just go in and say, I want to gift X number, and then YouTube will pick it randomly. So you don't have to enter. You were everybody that was hanging out here was entered automatically. And it looks like we had Beverly Akins, Janine. So with Debbie, oh, good morning. Good to see you again, Debbie. Donna Dixon, guess who? Nancy, Jojo, Rachel, Brian Springer, and we may have missed some, but you'll the traveling quilter. Yeah, sometimes the chat moves too quick, too quickly. But yeah, that's all done. So thank you so much for doing that, Becca. I really, really appreciate that as well.
Happy
And
to
as I
do.
said, I would like to do more with the membership in the future, but I don't want to overextend myself. It's something I've done in the past. I've overextended myself. I'm trying really, really hard not to do that in the future.
One of the things you could think about, Sean, and I'm not telling you to do it, I'm just
I'm
giving.
open to suggestions.
Well, what I was going to tell you is if you already have your group or your guild going and you're already meeting on Zoom once a month, maybe you could drop that link as a members only post here on your channel and they could get invited to they could be part of the guild for that $1.99. You can join for free, but you could also pay for it if you wanted to, I guess.
Yeah, that's an idea. I like that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and
And
that's
then
something.
the other thing that I was going to tell you is with the channel memberships, I heard So Yeah say this a number of times, and I'm trying to, it doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth, but that is because I feel, I don't know, it's not, I feel weird taking something for nothing, but sometimes people just want to support you because they believe in what you're doing. So
Mhm.
what I've tried to do is call the any of the money that comes through on YouTube, like super chats or stickers or the channel membership, as a donation. So this is just a way for them to set up a recurring tip for you.
Right. And that's kind of how I see it myself. Yeah, it's not expected. It's not, that sort of thing there. If people want to you participate, they can, and if they don't, there's not an issue whatsoever. Like,
Yep.
I
You're
don't
still
want
going
to
to make
treat,
content. It's still free for everybody.
yes, yeah, I don't want to make people, feel different or anything else like that if they don't. So yeah, my content will remain free. I don't plan on changing that. Now, if I get fired from my job on Monday, then things may change. Um, but I don't think it's going to happen, thankfully. So, all right. So, good morning, Janice. It is good to see you as well. Let's see. Okay, Janelle. Oh, I missed you again, Joy. Okay, okay. So yeah, I do release some of my videos just a little early, like a few hours early for some video if I have a chance to upload it early. Sometimes I'll release it early to my members as well. Like instead of seeing it at like 6 or 9 p.m., you might see it at like noon. Where did my cutter go? There it is. And that sort of thing there. So that's kind of it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But I think I've explained it pretty well. Okay, so Janine. Good morning. Good morning, Nelly. It's good to see you as well. So, what have you been up to, Becca? I think as I was saying earlier to somebody, I sometimes do these just as a way to catch up with my friends because, we're both busy and sometimes it's the only way I get to catch up with somebody. So,
Yeah, so the past couple of months have been, well, the past several months, um I feel like I've been just completely all over the place.
what have you
Ian,
been hosting?
yes, I've been hosting, and you know exactly what that's like. So Ian came in October, at the end of October, and he stayed until the beginning of December. And then my friend Mary moved to South Carolina this year, but while her house was on the market, she needed a place to stay. So literally the same day that Ian left, Mary moved in and stayed in my mom's apartment. And then a couple weeks before Mary left, my mom came. And so it was Mary and my mom for a while. And then Mary left, and then my mom was here. And then my mom was still here. And then Tiffany came, and my mom was still here. And then I went to QuiltCon and came back with Tiffany and Ian, and my mom was still here. Um, and then eventually my mom did go home. So she left at the beginning of March, just after about a week or so ago, I think. about a week after Ian and Tiffany both left. So I am now sitting in a home where it is just my husband and my daughter and myself and the pups. And it hasn't been like this in months. I don't know what to do with myself, but because something's always got to be busy around here, apparently, work has kicked up. And so I have been just really busy with work.
Yeah, me too. It's never a dull moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, very much so.
No, like I just when I have time, I'm in the sewing room, either making content or making a quilt, or sometimes both.
Both.
Hopefully today I'll have a tutorial that's gonna hopefully drop. I'm waiting for notes to come back from a review. So I try to do, and I'm not always great about it, but I'm also not a professional and I'm not getting paid big bucks to make, I'm not a videographer. So let's just put it that way. But
Yeah.
I do like to try to edit my tutorial videos and I want to make sure that they make sense. And so before I release them, if I'm not feeling 100% on it or I don't want to watch it again, I'll ask a family member to or a very, very close friend to watch it and let me know if there's anything that I need to change before I drop in. So I've got a video tutorial that's edited. I'm just waiting for my friend to watch it and let me know if there's anything that needs to be adjusted, and then I'm just going to release it to the world. So hopefully that'll come out this weekend. But that video is taking me about 6 weeks to make because work has been so busy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I think for me with my videos, I think like if it's like a factor of 10 at
Hmm.
least. Like by the time you produce it, you edit it, and that sort of thing there, like a 10-minute video, if you say it's taken you 100 minutes at least to produce it, that's about average for me.
Yeah,
My podcasts are a little shorter. I've kind of got that thing streamlined. I don't know, maybe this is still a factor of time. I get about 6:30 in the morning and it's usually uploaded at 8:30. So yeah, I
I can't
suppose it's
believe you
still.
record it, edit, and release it all the same day.
Yeah, I get up at 6:30. I'm normally recording it. So this is Sunday morning for me most days. 6:30 I get up, I get my coffee, I kind of wake up, so I'm like, because you don't want to hear me go. So I'm normally up recording at 7. I try to finish by 7:15, 7:20, and then I'm editing to about 8, and then it's uploading and doing show notes and that sort of thing. Then usually by 8:30, it's ready for the world to release at 9 a.m. as well. So good morning to Laura Lynn. It is good to see you here as well. If you haven't seen Laura Lynn's channel, you are definitely missing out. She is a lot of fun
It's
under
beautiful.
exclamation point mom. And if you have a channel and we haven't mentioned you here, let me know. I've got most people's stuff in here already, but if not, let me know and I'll just tag me real quick and I'll make sure we get your link up there as well. So, because we've done Fallon. Donnell is here as well, and she'll be live at 2 this afternoon instead of 10 because she has some stuff to do in the morning. All right, so let's see. I'm always distracted, as you can tell. And I think that's good for us as content creators to, acknowledge that we are not perfect and it's okay to make mistakes because it's, I don't know, everyone makes mistakes and that's okay. Sometimes you see these channels where it's everything's perfect and that's great, but yeah, that's not us. That's why Jack is my very, very bestest friend.
That's right. It's, I think the thing to keep in mind is when somebody's taken the plunge to start a channel, really what they've committed to do is just be vulnerable with the rest of the world and show what they're doing, why they're doing it, even if it's wrong. And they know they're going to get the comments that say you're doing it wrong because there's always somebody out there that's going to tell you that you're doing it wrong.
Oh, for
But it doesn't
sure.
mean we're perfect, right? Like I took the plunge with YouTube not because I was perfect with anything that I was doing, but because I really like the idea of making content. I like making videos almost as much as I like quilting, and this allows me to combine the two.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I started because let's see, why did I start? Oh yeah, because I saw these podcasters on the knitting channels that my wife watches, and they're getting stuff done. I was like, okay, I'm not getting anything done. Maybe if I start a channel, I'll have people that watch, hopefully, and there'll be accountability. I might actually get some stuff done. And it's kind of worked out really well for that reason. So, so far, what I've done today is I've attached these two together. Hopefully you can see. Why is
Oh,
this
so
one?
cute.
Yeah.
I will
So
be
that's
at my pandas this weekend, and I hope to have that quilt top finished before Monday, so I can get it sent out for quilting and have that off of my list. My goal was to have it done in February, but with QuiltCon and everything else, that just didn't happen. So it's now my goal for March. But before I start sewing, I figured I'd do something that was brainless and starch and trim these up. So
Yeah, and I was joking with Becca off camera this morning because I thought she was already done, and I'm like,
yeah.
I've got to catch up. So, um,
I've got all the
yeah.
blocks made. I just have to figure out what layout I want to put them in because I'm not following the pattern. I've got 16 blocks. I think ultimately what we're going to do is put 12 of them into the quilt top, but also you guys know that this is for my friend Mary. She wants that quilt to have very specific measurements so it hits her bed in a very specific way. So I have to figure out how to add in some negative space in between the blocks and the background, and then arrange the blocks so that they're in a pleasing manner so that it hits the measurement she's looking for. And it's going to require some brain power that I just don't have right now. So there's not really a lot that I can do with that quilt until my brain fully wakes up.
Oh, yeah, you've got to take your time with that because otherwise this is going to be a complete another mess.
Okay, I'm not trying to
Um,
have a recap of last night, okay?
yeah, sure. So, um, yeah, because I'm not following the pattern. Like I've followed the block side, like each block is to the pattern, but I think what is it? It gives you the chance to do the pillow, a four, and then was it 16? Is that right?
So 16 is what Mary told me to do. It was 9. So it was either a single
Nine. Okay.
block and then four patch for a wall hanging, or 9. The 4 actually wasn't a wall hanging. I think they called that a lap quilt. And then the
Yeah.
full quilt was 9.
Yeah. And I'm doing eight because I figured that'd be a good lap size because this is going for my wife. It's going to be a quilt for her. And then I laid out mine on the living room floor yesterday because that's my design wall.
I
And
don't have one
it,
either.
it works. It works for me. So um, let's see. Oh yeah, I laid them all out on the floor last night and told Amanda, I said, look, I'm going to put this together on the live this morning. What order do you want it in? So that way, it's done how she wants it, and I think that's good. She's known about the project from the start, so it's not like it's a surprise,
Right.
or anything else like that. So there we go. All right. Heidi says, good morning to all the creators, quilters, and fabric collectors.
Fabric.
Uh,
I love
I
that.
like that. Yeah, that's definitely us. Okay. Song Quilt April Source Health says, good morning, Sean and Becca. We are hunkering down for a big snowstorm here in May. I can't believe it's like the middle of March and there's a big snowstorm coming.
Well,
So,
depends on where you live in the country or the world, I should say.
yeah. All right. Good morning, Nancy. It's good to see you as well. She says, Becky, your teaching has always been fantastic. And I agree with that. Like, you, I want to be like you when I grow up. I really do. Like,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I used to play school with my siblings, much to their chagrin. They did not like that. I wanted to be a teacher. So anybody that is a teacher, was a teacher. I know Stephen was a teacher. I've heard him mention that. I think a history teacher. I know he's mentioned that a couple of times. I think there's a few other retired teachers in your chat and
mhm.
two crossover, right? Um, I always look at them like, oh, you're so cool because that's the job I wanted to have, but I wasn't brave enough to do. When I went to college, my first year, I loaded up the first 2 years, no, the first year I loaded up on 30 credits, all focused on majoring in elementary education, which here in the States allows you to teach K through 8, or at least it did. I don't know if that's still the process. And so I took my electives focused around elementary education and early childhood development, all the things. And I got to around 30 credit hours. And one of the classes that they one of the classes that I was taking required me to audit a classroom and actually go into a class to help out. And I
Mhm.
thought I at the time was in my early 20s, so I didn't want to go to high school. That's why I was focusing on early education because I thought my age was too close to the teenagers. I couldn't think big picture. And all I could think about is how traumatizing high school is. And I didn't want to be in that environment every day. So I was like, I'm going to go to elementary school. And what's cuter than a bunch of 5-year-olds? Because I babysat 5 and 6-year-olds. And so I was like, this works for me. So I audited a kindergarten classroom and I left that classroom going, no, no,
Mhm.
pull my hair out. So no, after that class, I switched my major to computer information systems. I pursued a degree in IT. I've been there for over 20 years. I don't even like, yeah, 20 years. Been in IT for 20 years now. And I still very much enjoy quilting, or not quilting. I do enjoy quilting, but I very much enjoy teaching, whether it's teaching technology, teaching project management, which is what I do day to day, or teaching quilting. It's all teaching. I like sharing knowledge. I like teaching. Um, I just don't get to do it professionally. So I'm hoping that maybe after I retire from my 9 to 5, that would be a wonderful full-time job as my second career.
Yeah, not for sure. That'd be so much fun. I actually considered teaching as a career too when I was in high school. And
Really?
yeah, and I think I might have mentioned this before. So if you heard this story before, I apologize, but you'll hear it again if you did. And yeah, I actually in Australia they do what they call work experience, which is when you're in 10th grade, you get to for 2 weeks you get to go out into the field and like shadow somebody or do something with, you know, local businesses or schools or whatever in the local community. So I did 1 week at a preschool and 1 week at a one teacher school about 10 miles out of town. And I loved the one teacher school. It was K through 6 in one school. It was 30 kids. And that was so much fun because 1 minute you'd be teaching a kindergartner how to count to 10. The next minute you'd be helping a fourth or fifth grader, you know, with history or something else like that. So I really enjoyed that. And I actually considered doing that through college, but then with how things work there is a lot of times you have to kind of get your first job out in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, I really don't want to move away from home. I like where I live. I don't want to move away from home. Spoiler alert, I moved halfway around the world later. So, you know, like jokes on me. Um, but, you know, I really considered that. But ultimately, I decided against it. And you know, back then the kids were more respectful, and I think these days I probably would have killed one of them. So probably best I didn't. Now the preschool, I was there for about a day and a half, and I realized it was not for me. Those kids are little monsters. One of at least one of them kicked me a few times because he could. Um, so
I
yeah,
chose the wrong grade to audit. I thought I was being smart by choosing, like, these are kids that have never been to school before. Most of them probably didn't go to pre-K. They're coming from mommy's home. And what you're really teaching them is how to be disciplined in the classroom. If I wanted orderly classrooms and didn't want to be stressed out, I probably should have gone for like 12th
but
grade.
I don't know. I mean, go to talk to some teachers. I don't know that there's actually a grade out there that would fits that description. I'm thinking
Well,
maybe at most, maybe fourth or fifth grade, because once they get in the middle school, the hormones come out and you have that whole challenge.
fourth or
Um,
fifth, like third or fourth grade is kind of a sweet spot. It seems like, and I'm speaking as
yeah,
a parent, right? Because when my daughter was in third or fourth grade, she was still in the cute little kid stage, but old enough to know what she was supposed to do and be a
yeah,
little independent, but still thought you were cool. And then we started getting into like fifth grade and then sixth grade. And the older she got, the less cool I got. And the more,
yeah,
I mean, yeah. So maybe like middle elementary school would have been the sweet spot.
yeah. I was always thinking third, fourth, maybe fifth grade. And as I said, it was really nice when I went to that one teacher school because I kind of got to experience all those grades in one hit, in one go. So I don't know, that was a lot of fun to do. But I
We've got a few
think,
comments in the chat that I can read out to you, Sean, that
yeah,
are on the
please.
subject. So Dragonflies for Donna says it would be cool. Oh, this is talking about the panda quilt, so I'll just go back for a minute. It would be cool to see bamboo shoots behind or between the pandas for that quilt. So that's actually something I've thought about, but it's not my thing to do. So moving on.
That would
Uh,
be fun. I mean, we could applicate it on there, but I have way too many quilt tops as it is. So maybe, you know what, that would be cute. And I might actually do this. So thank you so much for the suggestion. And I love hearing suggestions from my audience. It really makes me happy. That would be really fun to do on a pillow. You make, yeah, the pillow is one block, goes together fairly easily, and I could applicate bamboo shoots and that sort of thing on there as well. So yeah, I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind, and that might be something fun to actually do in the near future. You know what? That might be a good project for the state fair.
oh,
Yeah. Okay. Now we're
oh.
cooking.
Now we're
Now we're
cooking.
cooking with gas. That might be a really good thing to enter into the state fair. So thank you so much for that suggestion. That sort of thing there. Okay, so Jan is asking you, Becca, what is the name of the quilt behind you?
This is just a friendship braid quilt. I'm going to have a video tutorial that will drop that'll show you how to make this sometime this weekend. Don't know when. I do not have a pattern for it, but guess what? This is got patterns on basically every quilting YouTube channel out there. I will give you a project sheet that'll tell you cutting instructions and fabric requirements for it, but it'll just be meant to accompany my detailed video that'll walk you through it. This is a tutorial that other people have done too. So I tried to take a different spin on this rather than just walking you through how to make a quilt. I did try to give you some tips and tricks in the video about how to deal with braids and how to customize them to your liking. So more to come on that. Um,
Oh,
I have a comment here for you, Sean, that I think is interesting. Uh,
okay.
Janice from The Right Way said, and I'm trying to get back to it. Where did it go, Janice? Janice,
I
where did it go?
know.
I think
It happens to me all the time.
I know. I'm trying to find it. I can't find it. I think she said um, something about she couldn't do first grade. Like she's a teacher and she couldn't do kindergarten or first grade. So that just validated me that I chose the wrong grade to audit. And
Yeah, I don't know. I think different people that are meant to do different grades. Like my wife loves middle school.
yeah,
She's taught that for 25 years. Her mother was a kindergarten teacher. She loved kindergarten. She did that for some like she was a substitute for a while. But yeah, her passion was definitely the little ones. Like she loved the little 5, 6 year olds. Again, yeah, me, if I did teaching as a career, I think I'd, the third, fourth graders would be definitely where I would go. I don't know that I could happily do middle school. I don't know that I know I wouldn't want to do high school. That those kids are just a little bit too much for me. Um, but yeah, I think I'm better off just sitting in my nice little cubicle and trying to deal with Canadian customs issues. So I'm just going to stick with that. So,
Donna said the bamboo could also be quilted like that on a long arm. And that's what I was thinking is like free motion quilting some bamboo into the panda's hands and stuff. So we took that suggestion and went in completely two different directions, which is so cool. But
yeah,
Anna also said that if you do that and you get a ribbon, she wants one too, because it was her idea.
I know, right? I don't know about that. I like my little ribbon collection, and I'm a little sad because I always look over in the corner, like in front of me, with my wife's ribbon collection. She's got a lot more ribbons than I do, and all of
Well, you
and
just got
all
to
of
catch up, buddy.
and all of hers yeah, she gets all the pretty blue ones and that nice purple best in section, and I'm struggling over here to get a white one. So like
Listen, I have none, and it's fine. It's totally fine. Well, no, that's not true. I have a yellow volunteer ribbon. You know what I'm
yeah,
gonna do? I'm going to start I'm gonna start buying myself blue ribbons.
there you go.
And every time a quilt gets accepted to hang in a show, I'm just going to affix it to the quilt. I
There's
get
nothing wrong with
myself
that.
first place.
Yeah, the sew back a participant ribbon.
There
It
you
can be
go.
what's your favorite color? Like, we'll just use that.
I'm just gonna buy a bunch of aqua Tiffany, like what do they call it? Robin's egg blue. That's my favorite color.
Yeah,
I'm going to buy a bunch of Robin eggs blue ribbons and I'm going to put it on every quilt that ever gets to hang in a quilt show. Sometimes they'll have 5 quilt ribbons. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. That's how I'm
yeah,
gonna get my hardware.
nice. Yeah, I mean, some of my quilts have ribbons. Like the one behind me has a highly commended. The one before that I can't quite reach. With the ice cream's got third place, and then the one before that got third place, which actually hangs on my cube at work. And then I actually got a third place ribbon you might be able to see hanging up here in the corner from one of the project bags that I made. But some of them don't get ribbons, like the
That's
t-shirt quilt. T-shirt quilt made a couple of years ago has no ribbon, but that's okay because it actually motivated me to actually finish the quilt. So sometimes, like just entering it into the show actually gets you motivated. Like it actually gets something done. So there you go.
Judy said, Becca, we're gonna have to send you ribbons for your channel.
There you go.
Start hanging them behind like on a little pendant. That's great.
Hey, you know what you
No,
actually could do? You could always do like one for each. Every time you get like 2,000 subscribers or 10,000 or something, you can have like a little
no,
series of ribbon.
no, I'm so far behind on that, Sean. Remember, I said a few months ago that when my friends, when I see a quilty YouTuber that I'm talking to, I'm a friend with, whatever you want to call it, when they hit a major milestone, I made a little FPP template of just like the YouTube play button that
Yeah,
squares up to 5x7, which is the perfect size for a postcard. So in my head, I was like, I'm going to drop this YouTube play button in the form of a quilted postcard in the mail when somebody hits 5,000, and then every time they pass 10,000 along the way. Well,
right.
I did that for Tiffany. She got to 50,000 and I dropped the one I had in the mail. And I actually this weekend need to just make a stockpile of them. Don't fill them out and just have them here because Donna
Right.
hit 10,000 and I didn't drop one in the mail for her. Fallon hit 30,000. I didn't drop one in the mail for her. And I'm sitting over here like, wait a minute, I had this really neat idea and I am not delivering on it.
Yeah. Well, sometimes the ideas and it actually coming to fruition is yeah, two different things. You got to find the time for it. I remember she got to 30,000 because I won her 30,000 giveaway.
Yeah,
So
you did. You
yeah,
did.
I'll remember her 30,000 forever. So
Yep, yep.
I
Janet's now
love
asked me this like 4 times and I've not answered. So I just want to touch on this really quick. She's asking if I'm doing the latest Cotton Cuts mystery quilt. Yes, I am. I am doing the colorway. Gosh, what's my colorway, Sean? I don't
I
remember.
don't I can't remember them either.
I can't
The one
remember
that
the name
Ian
of it.
the one that Ian picked for you.
Yeah, the one that you picked for
Is it
me.
Tranquil? No, not
Yes,
Tranquil.
Tranquil. Yes, Tranquil.
Ah,
Yes,
I
Tranquil.
actually
Yes,
remember.
thank
How
you.
about that?
Yep, I'm doing a large tranquil for Tree of Life, but I'm not doing those. I wasn't doing those on live streams. I had decided to maybe do it as a pre-recorded time-lapse video, but those videos aren't performing very well. So I don't think that I'm going to continue doing it that way. I'm trying to find a way to create that content in a manner that you guys want to see. And it's getting a little difficult for me because I'm getting a response from my audience that says that they're not interested in that topic. So I'm trying to find the right place for it because I really do enjoy the puzzle mystery quilts, but I'm having a bit of a struggle in finding a way to create the content for that in a way that you guys want to watch so that I don't end up negatively impacting my channel. So more to come on that. I think most of it's just going to be shorts. I think I'm just going to do shorts for it just to show what they've done. Um, and that kind of, I think, plays nicely into the ambassador community because Ian does a wonderful job with pre-recorded edited tutorials. So you already know
Oh,
how to put it
sure.
together. I'm doing a large, he's doing a large, so I've got nothing to add there. Sean and several others are doing their puzzle mystery quilt clues on live stream. So you have somebody to sew with routinely. And Cotton Cuts even host a Zoom once a month where you can go sit and actively be on a video chat with somebody and sew the clues together. So I don't know where I fit in this anymore. And I'm just trying to figure it out. So, but yes, I am doing Tree of Life and I am very much enjoying it.
Yeah, and it's always hard. Yeah, and that's one of the challenges as concrete content creators trying to figure out what your audience wants and that sort of thing there.
Yeah.
And I think you do the same thing, but I always encourage my viewers to reach out, send me suggestions. I might not be able to do it right away, but like some of the best ideas I've had on this channel have been from viewer suggestions. I forget, was it Christine mentioned the Mythical Darksons a couple of years ago. That's how I got
Oh
introduced
yeah.
to the Art East. She's like, "Oh, this is really cool Mythical Darksons pattern. You need to go check it out." And I'd never heard of it. I mean, I just fell in love with that pattern and that company. And if it wasn't for her, I mean, I probably would have stumbled across it eventually. But you know, yeah, I do listen. I can't do it right away, for stuff, and some stuff may not be a good fit for me. Like a lot of the FPP stuff is not.
Speaking of FPP, literally You must have read my mind because I just pulled a bin out to work on and it happens to be FPP. So sorry about that, Sean.
I know you're fine. It's just I had my toasty, and I've talked about this for what, a year and some change because I bought the kit.
Do it. You just need to rip the
I
band-aid.
have I have a plan for it now
Okay.
because I was speaking to Gwendolyn at Mid-Atlantic because I got to the Mid-Atlantic after you left, unfortunately.
I know.
Um,
I'm so sorry.
it wasn't your fault. I was doing like I said earlier.
Practice
I
service.
appreciate the mom taxi thing. I was running Simon here and everywhere, and then getting lunch for the others and that sort of thing there. So it just didn't work out. But I got to see you the previous week, so that would have been a bonus, but that's okay. So I was talking to Gwendolyn, and we figured I really need to do Toasty because at one point I was just like, I just need to get rid of the pattern. Like, I just need to sell it or give it away or do something with it. But, I also saw that this year is the Chinese Year of the Dragon.
Oh,
So, yeah, so that kind of like gave me a kick. And so what I think I'm going to do now is I want to do it late summer, early fall. But then I was like, okay, well, that's when the state fair is, that sort of thing there. So I figured we'll get the state fair knocked out of the way, and then we can launch Toasty. So sometime between now and then, I have to go to Fabric Hut and go get all my fabric because I just bought the pattern. I wanted to do mine purple
yeah.
rather than red. And so I'll go get my fabric, and then hopefully hopefully in mid late September we'll get that launched there as well. Okay. Fallon says yes, we both had Google Forms to get information about that, what viewers are looking for. Love that. Yes, and I would love if people would fill out that form if they have not done so already. So let me throw mine in real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad you remembered that because I was going to mention that on this morning's live, and then I totally forgot. So see, I'm telling you, like, my viewers are wonderful, and they always, you know, help me out with this sort of stuff here. Okay,
That's why I like to call them friends and not just subscribers.
oh, for sure, and that's something I did not expect. Copy. I was not expecting the community and that sort of thing there. I really thought it was going to be a case of like, you go on, you produce your content, and you'll get a comment here and there. But I love interacting with everybody
Yeah.
in this way. It's been such a blessing. Like, I've just enjoyed it so much. Okay, so I've put the link in there as well. So if you have time, I would love it if you give me your feedback. There's some questions there, like what you like and what you don't like. Now, when you see the question about what you're not interested in, please be honest. If you don't like my Sunday morning podcast, just tell me. I'm not going to be offended. Like, I know I try and put out content that a lot of people like. And I know, some people love it all and some people like this stuff, but not that. And that's okay. So please do not be shy and just say, hey, I love it all just because you think that's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear. I want to hear your honest opinion on this.
Yep.
So don't be mean, of course. Like, don't say, hey, this is the worst channel ever. If this is the worst channel you've ever come across,
Maybe go watch another channel.
yeah, please. I really do hope that you find the channel you're looking for. But yeah, if you enjoy something and you want to help me out a little bit and just say, this is what I like, this is what I'd like, this is what I'd love to see if it's at all possible. I'd love to hear it. I really would. So there we go. So
I also feel like when it comes to YouTube, and I'm sure you've already figured this out, but when it comes to YouTube, not 100% of what you do is going to resonate with 100% of your audience.
for sure.
You have
Yeah.
your audience that is interested in edited videos. You have your audience that is interested in your shorts, and you have your audience that is interested in your lives. And you may have some people that enjoy some or all three of those types of content.
Hmm.
But then
Yeah.
the other part of it is even the people that watch edited videos, you have some people that are going to watch every single edited video, and you're going to have some people that only watch some of them. It's
Yeah.
just hit or miss, right? And so what I try to do is rather than please every single person, I try to go in the direction that the majority of the
Oh, for
audience
sure.
to
Yeah.
resonate with.
Oh, I totally agree. And that's one of the reasons I put this form out. Like, I saw you, like I was thinking about doing it, and I saw you put it out, and I was like, oh, dang. Like, she's the other thing I'm copying her, but it's okay. I'm just
Oh,
going to do it
no,
in.
listen. You got to get that out of your head because you're not the only person that I've heard say this. There is no copying in the world of YouTube or quilting. You can be inspired by something that somebody else has done, whether it's a form, a quilt block, whatever. At the end of the day, we're going to step on each other's toes. We are
Yeah,
going to duplicate what's already out there. There's only so many new ideas that can come out, and the community is absolutely huge, which is amazing. So, as from where I'm standing, I'm never upset if somebody puts out a video topic that's similar to mine. I'm not upset as long as you took your own spin. Like, don't go to my video, download it, and re-upload it. Maybe
right.
just do your own take on it. Please be inspired by something that I've done. That's a huge compliment.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah,
Never upset with that. So do what you got to do, Sean.
I know. And you've told me that before. And I mean, I understand that. But, I am a people pleaser at heart. Like,
Hey,
if you haven't figured that out by now, here's my confession. Have I done this right? Oh, thank goodness for that. Okay. I need to start doing this sort of stuff more often because I haven't messed up yet. So, oh, that's a good point. Joyce says here for some viewers, watching these lives is the only interaction they have with people.
that's true.
So that is true. And it's very interesting. I was speaking to some, and I think you've probably heard this story before, and I apologize in advance, but I was speaking to some fairly prominent knitting content creators at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival a couple of years ago. They don't do lives, or very,
Yep.
very rarely. So, and, I was talking to them and I was like, I have a quilting channel. I do my Saturday morning lives every week. And they kind of looked at me funny. They're like, you do have lives every week? I'm like, oh yeah, like we all do it. Like,
Well, I think alive is kind of to me not so much a tutorial or even progress on a project. I had to change my vision of what a live stream was. When I started my channel, I was like, oh my goodness, I have to bring a different project every Friday night and I have to have it finished. And I got so overwhelmed with that so quickly because I couldn't keep up. I couldn't get things finished. And I felt like I was just constantly starting and never, ever, ever finishing. And it became an overwhelming thing for me. And then I scaled it back and I started leaning into some block of the months because that seemed to work out well. But the realization that I've had over the past year, and this is just where I am now, it might not be where I am in a year, 5 years, 10 years, but where I am right now is people are tuning in for the live stream, not for the project, not for the tutorial. They're tuning in for the community,
oh, for
whether
sure.
it's sitting with me Friday night and sewing or chatting with other people in the chat or just laughing at me making mistakes, whatever the case may be. They're tuning in more for the community and less for the project. The project is nice to see, but the reason why they're there is for the community. And so once I let go of the burden of trying to teach a new project every Friday night or even keep bringing it back, the live streams just got like a whole they became a lighter burden. It was so much more fun. I was able to just enjoy it more. So now I've kind of shifted my mindset. My live streams, I almost feel like they are a live audience form of a podcast because you've got
Oh yeah.
somebody, you're either talking to the audience or you're talking to a guest or both, and it's just a conversation that you're having. That's it.
Yeah, and that's how I see mine. Like it's very much, yeah, I bring on a friend and like I said earlier in this piece, sometimes like with you and Beth and several others, this is the only real chance I get to talk to you because like we're all super busy. So to me, it's like, we're sitting here like it's almost like a guild meeting where we're just like kind of all sitting there and having social time. And it's just like
Yeah.
it's you and me or you and whoever I have that week, and 100 and some of my favorite people, so and I like that. And I get so many comments about, I love people call it interviews, and it's really kind of segued away from an interview per se. Although I do that more with the newer channels. It's just more like if you read my description, it's like I have a sit and chat and maybe we'll get some sewing done. That's kind of how I walk
I think
into
the
it.
conversations are a little bit better too. Like when I've had people on, and I'm really excited because I'm going to have Brandy from Culture on Fire on in June. I'll be on her podcast and I'm going to have her on a live stream. I don't have many guests on Friday nights. I try to keep that really small circle of just a couple of people that I'll invite. Usually when I have people that I don't know, it's just easier. Then I don't have to hunt it down. And I find when I have somebody on a lot, then I become more uncomfortable in front of the camera on my own. So whatever. I don't have to explain myself. But
Yeah.
what I was going to say is when I do have a guest on or I go on with somebody else, I really prefer it to be more this rather than a list of question and answers because I feel like this is a natural conversation rhythm. And I think this is more compelling to watch.
Oh,
I
for
love
sure.
it when people, if you have a list of questions, so you have an idea of where the conversation is going, that's great. But taking it to that level, taking those questions and allowing them to morph into a conversation where both people are feeding back and forth, people love that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like I have a list of questions that I have sitting around here somewhere,
Topic
but
starters.
but they're there in case, I don't like dead air
Yeah.
as a viewer. That's just me. And but I have a list of questions so that way if I like to let the conversation go where it wants. I tell people all the time, like my guests, whenever they come on, like the last few minutes before we go live, I say, look, I'm open to just about any conversation. I just like to keep religion, politics out of it. Other than that, talk about whatever you want. Um, and so I just keep it that way. And yeah, it's just been great. Now, sometimes with a newer channel and that sort of thing, there, if they haven't been on lives before, they're a little more nervous. So then, some of the questions come out. But will I start at number one and work my way down? No, I just kind of pick and choose what I think is going to work because I'm with you, Becca. I like the idea of this being a natural conversation. And for the people that come and watch later on, because I'm on early for some people, like it's 8 o'clock, well, 9 o'clock here now in the East Coast. It's, when I start, it's 5 o'clock in some parts of the world. So I get a lot of replay viewers, and I want this to be a production that my replay viewers come and enjoy. Like, there's a good, I'd say 50, 60% of my views, although it's kind of becoming more even now, are replay. So I do keep that in mind. Christine,
Have-
thank you so much for your tip. It's very, very much appreciated. And I think it's the same Christine that actually introduced me to the mythical Darksons. So I think it's the same one. All right, and we are talking about legit kits as well. Who was saying they just received? Someone said they received one recently, and they're a little overwhelmed. Don't be. I have okay. This is coming from someone that hasn't started theirs yet, so take this with a grain of salt. And Becca can chime in as she sees fit.
Sure.
But the patterns are incredibly well written. Like
Yeah.
it's very like even for someone that doesn't do FPP at all, or very rarely, if you look at the page, like start with the ones that are easier if you're not familiar with FPP and just go with it. But it's like they're numbered so well and everything else like that. Like if you go to start with an FPP project, um, I
If
think
you
this is
never
one that you can do. The other one I would
could, you
recommend.
could. So here's my feedback on legit kits. Extremely detailed. There are little small pieces as I am working on right now. And they can get very, very intricate. And that's what makes them complex. However, FPP is just sewing on the line.
Mhm.
Sew the stitch, trim, flip, press. We just keep
Yeah,
repeating those things. And you're working with solid, so there's no wrong side to worry about. And they have a fabric guarantee. So if you miscut or you run out of fabric, all you gotta do is call them and they'll send you more fabric for free. You don't have to worry about it. They'll make it right if you buy the kit, not the pattern. So if you just buy the kit from Legit Kits, it's relatively easy. Just understand that it is not a project that you're going to knock out in 2 or 3 days.
right.
Most of us take months to do it. I did the lion. I did do some color substitution, so that did make it a little bit more complex. But that project was prioritized almost every time I was in my sewing room for 3 solid months in order to get it done. So just be aware of that. This is why I actually like the block of the months. So Deep Dive, I'm going to talk about that for a minute. Sorry. Deep Dive is the newest block of the month that Legit Kits is doing, and I signed up. I'm paying to do it. I am not getting it for free. I'm not getting any special consideration. I am paying just like everybody else, but I do have a code for you if you want it, and I'll put it in the chat later. Um, but this allows me to do a kit from Legit Kits that I loved and wanted to do, but sat on the fence because I didn't want the overwhelming burden of the entire kit on my shoulders and the cost of it up front. And so this breaks it up into 12 payments and 12 months of work. They send you a block every month, and all you got to do is worry about making that one block. And then when it's all done, this is the beauty of it. All of the legit kit blocks are the same size. And you just sew square or rectangles actually together, and it's good to go. You're done. Sorry.
Are they fine?
If you've never ever done FPP first, maybe do a small FPP project, tons of templates on Etsy if you're interested. And if you like that, then think about a legit kit.
Yeah, the one I was going to recommend, and it is a paid pattern, is the trinkets from Allison Glass.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I bought that last year. I had one of the pages here a little bit ago. But that one's super fun. I think I paid 15 or $20 for the pattern or whatever it is, and it gives you like 50 or 60 different templates, and some of them are super simple, like just a square and or yeah, two half square triangles together, and then it goes into more complex things. Um, Let me see if I can find one real quick.
It's really mostly about the muscle memory, but I won't lie.
Yeah.
There, it does take a little bit of work once you're ready to start joining pieces together because you do have to make sure that you are lining things up precisely to keep your points.
Yes. And no, it's missing. But anyway, I'll you can go back and I've shown them on my podcast in the past. You can look at this that sort of thing there. Jan did bring up a point here that the legit kits are expensive,
They are.
which is true. However, I think you and I were talking about this last year when we got the Panda project. Some of these kits, like even for regular projects, are two to 300 US dollars.
Yeah,
So when you look at it in that respect, it's not different. And then you can also always get the patterns, which are I think
$89.
69 for the small
89.
ones and 89 for the bigger ones. And then get your own fabric as well. And that now, if you're international, it's a little more challenging, but I think they've got a distributor in Australia now and some other places as well. So I think if I was ever to do one after Toasty, I think the Liberty one is kind of the one I've kind of got on my
Yeah,
radar.
that one's nice. That one's nice.
But um, we'll see. PM says they can't get legit kits that don't do international. I think they were working on or they have a distributor in Australia now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, go check out their website if you're interested, and I'll give you all the details. As I said, I know that they were working on doing the international stuff as well.
Yep.
So let's see. Andrea says she loves the patterns. Um, Enjoy watching them. I just can't afford. Yeah, and it's fun to watch other people do it. Like Donna does a really good job showcasing on her channel. You do a good job on yours. Hopefully I'll do a good job when I do mine in September or October or next year. Yeah. I'm going to do it this year. I promise. I really am going to do it this fall. That's really the plan. Okay, so I showed you this one at the start, right?
You did. Yes.
I did. Okay, so that's row one. Okay, this is keeping me straight. Row two, was it this one or the other one? I think this was row two. Might do back in my video later and make sure I'm doing it right. So that's row two. I need to put a clip on. I cheat. I have different colors. One to clip things, and I do this so I know which one's which. I start with red and work my way down to green.
There you go.
And then, because Amanda asked me last night, she's like, "You got to take a photo of how it's laid out." I'm like, no, I'm fine. I've got it laid out, my with my clips, and that's row three. So there we go. All right. Okay, Melissa says she wants to do the line, also sub the colors you did. Yeah, and Donnell's doing that as well. She's doing the lion in the
Detroit Lion colors.
yeah, Detroit Lion colors.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's doable. That's what I want to do one day, but I really have to go. I have to go to the store and like spend like I'm thinking it's going to take me 2 or 3 hours to pick up the colors I want.
It's it's overwhelming for me to do a legit kit with all of my own coloring because there's so many different colors in there and there's not a good way to find and replace the colors in the kit.
Yeah,
I wish there was a program that would allow, and I maybe I could do it in photo editing software. I wished I had a program that would allow me to have a digital image, or I could get a copy of the digital image for a kit and then pull it in and just be like, okay, for the color for this blue, I would like anywhere where this blue is represented to be black and see how that looks and be able to tweak all of that. And then and now I'm just coming up with all sorts of enhancements for legit kits. But if that could be something that would be on their website and I could customize my Kona fabric bundle that they send with my kit based on the customizations I made, oh my gosh, that would be game changer.
Yeah, that'd be fun. All right, it was good seeing you, Lisa. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Good morning, Heather. It's good to see you as well. Yeah, like my thing is like I have the little Kona cotton, the panel that you can
Yeah,
buy
yeah,
with all the
yeah.
colors on there. But and I was like, okay, I could just start at the top purple, work my way down. Wonderful. But what happens when I go to the store and they're missing three of the colors? Yeah, because my fabric cut stocks all 360 some colors, but sometimes they're out of stock. If someone comes along and buys the bolt, then like they do the best to keep it stocked, but they're not perfect. So
You can always just figure out what the color is and place an online order.
yeah, but I don't want to buy a yard of the stuff. A lot of the stuff that I want, I'm only going to need a quarter yard, and if I go to the physical store, I
Oh,
can buy. Oh yeah, I can
that's
buy
true.
the amounts I want. So
A
I'm
lot
just
of quilt shops online make you buy a half yard minimum.
yeah. So I figure I'm just going to take the list with me. I'll and just work it out. I just need to go on a day where it's like I might take a half day off work or something and not go on a Saturday afternoon when they've got 6,000 people because I think they almost cried when I went there a couple of years ago to do Wizard of Oz. I had like 35 different colors and it was right before closing and they had like three people cutting for me because they wanted to get rid
Oh,
of me. So I was like, I'm going to go on a quiet day so that way when I'm finished, they're not like, I hate you, Sean. Like, go away, never come back.
see, and that's the people pleaser in you too. You're like, oh man, I didn't want to overwhelm you with all of this.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll work it out. As I said, I just need, find the time when it's not busy and I have time to go over there and just play. And I've had people say, "Hey, I'd love to see video of you selecting and that sort of thing now," and that's going to happen. I want to do that. I think that'd be good to chronicle that. Okay, Sandra D says, I'm in Australia and I just buy the PDF from the Legit Kits website. I'm lucky that I have a local shop that stocks all the cones and solids. I just source the fabrics locally. That used to be an option, but unfortunately they discontinued the PDF option about 6 months ago. And I don't want to get into that because there was some
It's
um,
all controversial.
very
People have
controversial.
very
Yeah,
big feelings about it. It's not worth bringing up. There's
yep,
nothing we can do about it. So complaining about it is not going to get you anywhere. Let it go.
yeah. But yeah, she just said that she did it in the past, which was great. I thought the PDF was a great option too for the international people. For me it's like $20 difference to do the PDF versus the printed. And by the time I went to the copy shop, it would have cost the same, and I'd rather have their paper anyway. So anyway, but moving on about that. So Jan says it's not they get paid to serve. That's true, but again, people pleaser, it's just how I am. Like I'd
Exactly.
rather
I'm the same way as you are, Sean. Like I know that I shouldn't be upset because that's what they're getting paid. They're making money. This is what they want is to be able to cut fabric. And they're going to cut 30 different bolts of fabric. It's either going to be for you or 10 different customers, right? Like
yeah.
it just doesn't matter. You shouldn't worry about that. But in my head, I always worry that I've made somebody mad. I always worry that I have offended them. I always worry that I am not making them happy or doing my very best to work around them. So I worry more about the other person's feelings than mine sometimes. So I
Yep.
get where you're at. Like I would be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I have 30 bolts of fabric for you to cut. I am so sorry. I would probably sit there and apologize the entire time.
Yep. Bill said he went to Sean's fabric hut and they were out of Kona pepper because of him. Just kidding. Now that's a funny story because the last time I went to get the Kona pepper, I found a unopened bolt on the top shelf because they always say like ask for assistance on the top shelf. I'm 6'5". I'm just going to get it myself. I'm fine. Like I don't care. And so I grabbed the
Good.
I pick it up, I wander over to the desk. She's like, "How much do you want?" I said, "I want the whole thing." And she just kind of looked at me. She's like, "You want the whole thing?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "That's why I picked it off the shelf." I was, because they want to use the open bolt first. So she was probably like, "Why is this idiot come over here with this unopened bolt when there's probably a good one open?"
No, one
I
whole
was,
thing. I've
I was
done
like,
that
"Just,
at Joann's with interfacing before I had wholesale accounts. I definitely picked up a bolt and just went to the counter. I was like, I just want the whole thing. Just leave the
oh,
cardboard.
that's,
Just give me the whole bolt. It's still saran wrapped. You know what's in there.
oh yeah, the interface. That's exactly what I do. I don't buy because like the interface I use for like t-shirt quilts and that sort of thing now, it's 99 cents a yard when it's not on sale. A full bolt when it's 50% off, which they do all the time, is like $27 a tax. So yeah, I'm always like that. So Julie says if I have to go to Joanne's, the cutting staff usually looks so weary to me.
So when you walk in to a new quilt shop and you walk in with your wife and you're the one that walks up to the cutting counter with a bolt of fabric to be cut, what look do you get?
I've actually, and this is a question that comes up quite a bit. Um, they actually are very interested. Like they find it's cool that it's the general. And I usually try and leave Amanda at home because I tend to spend less when she's not there. Um, now, having said that, I love taking her. I love taking her with me because she has a wonderful. Like I have a good eye for fabric, I believe, but she finds stuff that I miss. Like she has a wonderful eye for fabric, but then she also comes up with really, really fun ideas, and I end up finding like five projects to do instead of one. So if I want to be, um, yeah, if I want to be in and out in under 3 hours, in under a certain amount of time, or I just want to go in and get one particular thing, I'll go by myself. Plus, it's also it's a lot closer to my office than it is to my house. So a lot of times I'll just stop by on the way home from work. So, but
Uh,
yeah, I've always had a good experience with people. Now, when I go to the quilt shows and that, and it's getting better, I will say this. Um, I've always had to like kind of seek out help at the vendor booths because they think I'm just a husband just hanging out waiting for their wife or girlfriend or that
yeah.
sort of thing there to finish shopping. But that is getting better as time goes on. So
Somebody's talking about the legit kits on Joann's website because Joann does have some legit kits on their website. Apparently Joann's is 30% off across the website right now, but I do want to let you know, pro tip, those kits are still printed and cut and sourced by Legit Kits headquarters. They're packaged that way and they given to Joann's to distribute. And if you go look at the price that's on the Joann's website, at least this is the way it was a couple of months ago, the price that's on the Joann's website and the price that's on the Legit Kits website, it's different. And Legit Kits website is actually cheaper.
yeah, yeah, and I think they're exempt from the coupons and stuff too. So
They are exempt from coupons.
yeah. All right. Well, we do need to finish today up a little early because I got some errands to run today. But
Taxi driver,
sorry.
taxi driver.
Actually, the boys are staying home. I have to go help my father-in-law with something real quick. I
Oh,
did want to say good morning to Eric. It's good to see him. He is up super early because he's out in LA, so it's like 6 a.m. where he is.
yep.
Let me just throw his channel link in real quick as well. I want to say a special good travel vibes to Steve and Walter. They did. I meant to say something earlier. I thought they were leaving today. They said they were packing to go to Australia. So. Um,
Oh,
yeah, they got him and Walter are going down there for 3 or 4 weeks. They'll be back about this time next month, and then I'm gonna have Stephen join me because Walter likes to sleep in. I'll have Stephen join me in about a month. We've got a date set up. I think it's like the 27th. Anyway, you'll find out before it happens. And I think it would be good to just pick his brain and talk to him about his trip down there because it'll be fun, to hear from, someone that's been down there. This is his fourth trip, so it's not like it's the first time. But it'll be fun to have him hang out with us as well. But before we go, good morning. Thanks for joining us, dearly. She has to run, and I have to run too in a minute, so you won't be too far behind. They leave tomorrow. Okay, so Becca, what do you have coming up in your channel in the near future that people should come and check out? The answer should be everything, but do you have anything special?
I mean, more the same. I try to upload one video tutorial a month. I like to do a project recap once a month, just talk about what my starts and finishes and lessons learned were from the prior month. And then doing live streams. And like I said, the video tutorial this month is going to be for the braid quilt hanging up behind me. So nothing super like I don't know how to ever answer that question other than to tell you the content that I'm working on because I'm just making content. So maybe
That's
that.
and that's the reason I asked that question is, sometimes people have like a special event, like they might have a special
Uh,
collab coming up and that sort of thing there. So if your answer is, yeah, it's the same stuff, that everyone loves and enjoys,
oh, I know what I can plug. I'm so sorry, Sean.
oh, you're fine.
The traveling quilt. So there are 12 quilting content creators, of which Sean is
Mhm.
one of them. Beth from Goody Goods was another. And in just a few days, we're going to have quilter number 3 release their row. So there are about 10 or so content creators that are coming together, and each of them are making a row all on their own, designed however they want it. And we're going to put all those rows into a quilt that will be quilted and we will raffle off. And it's going to take about a year to do this. Sean did a video in early February that dropped. You can find it on his channel. I also have a playlist on my channel that's called the 2024 Traveling Quilt. You can go click on that and it will pull up each person's video from their channel. So it's going to attribute to their views, their watch time, their ad revenue. I did not download it and put it on my channel. I just linked to it from mine. So check those out because the next video is coming soon and that's his quilt.
That's it.
You want to see
So
what that
spoil
row,
alert. Go check it
yep,
out. It's a lot of fun.
yeah. I need to get my hands on that row so I can put it into the quilt.
Well, I got to do a video. I think it was Dragonflies for Donna asked me. She said I need to do a quick video, explaining what each of these animals are because
There you
to
go.
me it's a platypus, a galah. Like to me these are animals that you see. Well, not the Tasmanian devil so much, but these other animals you see all the time. Like the cockatoos. Like if you go to my dad's farm, you see them hanging out in the trees, much to
Oh,
his chagrin. The Tasmanian tiger, not so much. The wombat, you kind of have, yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to do a quick video about this one day soon, and then I'll mail it to you, or
good.
drop it off at your house. So there
Whatever.
we go. All right, but with that, I do need to run. Thank you so much for everybody. I'm amazed we have 160 plus people joining me today. I've never had that many in one go. I just think that's amazing. So thank you for everybody that's joined us today. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. If you're watching live, thank you so much for being part of the chat. I apologize in advance if I miss people in the chat. I know I have. It's just, yeah, overwhelming, but it's good. It's a good problem to have. I'll be back tomorrow morning for my podcast as usual. I'll have some fun stuff to show you. Hopefully, a completed quilt top, but I make no promises. And go check out Becca's channel if you haven't already done so. Exclamation point, Becca.
You're a member of the VIP program or paying for channel membership, don't forget we have our weekend Zoom and the link is
Yes,
community tab or in your email inbox or in the Facebook group.
yeah.
Facebook.
I know I saw it in the community tab. That's where I'm going to go look for. I'll hope to join that this afternoon. I'll make no promises though. Fallon will have her member of Zoom at 10. Russ will be on at 11, Mum and Pop at 1, and then Donnell will be on at 2. So you got lots of quilty goodness to
Boom, boom,
choose
boom,
from.
boom, boom.
Yeah, go hang out with everybody. Go say hi to everybody and do all that sort of stuff there. Can I link my local fabric store? I believe it's fabrichut.com. Let's just write it in there real quick. If that's not right, Donna, shoot me an email. You have my email. I know you do. And we'll get you sorted out, but that should work. But with that, I'm going to say farewell, goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll have a wonderful quilty weekend, get lots of progress done, and that your friend Jack remains in his little hidey hole. Hey, we survived a full live without him today. That's amazing. All right, you all have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Happy sewing.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right.